Hello there, my name is Japheth Mast, and welcome to the Make Life Awesome podcast. I'm the Ex-Amish photographer with the funny name and the crazy hair, but trust me, there's a whole lot more to me than just that. In this podcast, I really hope to show you my heart more than what's in my head, because that's where all the really beautiful stuff is. I'm so glad you're here. Let's jump in to learning together what it looks like to make life awesome. Hey guys, welcome back to the Make Life Awesome podcast. I'm excited for today's episode. I'm here with Mr. Alex Branning, who is a friend and also happens to be my boss. But he is an incredible businessman. He's a father, a husband, and someone that just really knows what he's doing, really smart. And he's been doing some amazing things in the midst of this COVID-19 craziness that we're in. So, first off, can you just give us a little bit of an overview of like who you are, where you're at in life right now, what your family situation looks like?
Yeah, so we are cooped up here in home. I have been in the marketing business for 19 years, and we are now a remote team. So we're doing marketing. We specialize in digital marketing. And so we got people all over America right now, man, working from our homes, instead of meeting in kind of a corporate spot. So, the family's all in the house. So learning how to operate with, everyone sharing the same room. There's the same, it's weird working and living in the same space. And nobody's leaving. Like before, I'd have my home office and people would be, like Allie would be at school and Kathy would be doing her thing. But now, because of everything that's happening, we're having to live and work in the same space with, no breaks. So, it's been a learning experience, but it's good. Mm-hmm. It was a little rough at first, but we're really getting our groove. And we know it's going to be, at the time that we're recording this, it's at least another 30 days of this. So, we are mentally prepared for making this work. Yeah, awesome.
So, for a lot of people, life's slowed down or a lot of stuff's been canceled, and so they've had to adjust, which, there's a lot of sucky things in that, but I believe there's also a lot of opportunity to get creative and to actually build momentum instead of let this thing stop us. So, how has this this lockdown affected business, and how are you handling that, and what are you doing?
Yeah,
in the midst of that to stay productive.
When this whole thing started, I wrote down 3 C's. I wrote down, how can I collaborate with people who I couldn't collaborate with before because of this? What can I create that maybe I didn't have the time or the energy to create before this? And then how can I capitalize on this? Which sounds kind of like a dirty word, capitalizing on, this coronavirus. But there are always opportunities. Wherever there is panic, there could be prosperity. And so I look for ways to capitalize on people making emotional decisions, right? So there's a couple different things that are happening for us to capitalize on it. One, people are at home, they're cooped up, and so they have a little bit more time now for meetings, which means I'm able to talk to people that may not have given me the time before. I'm also able to collaborate with other individuals that right now I have time and they didn't before. An example of that is I was able to secure a workshop with a brilliant social media gal in Chicago who never would have had the time before because she was running from place to place. And now, she's working from home like all of us. And I had an opportunity to pay her to run a boot camp for my audience, which was really cool, very successful. So I'm looking for, I really try to make the best of it. It is a sucky situation. I'm an extrovert, and so I love being around people. So being locked up inside is so hard. But but there's so many cool things that can come out of this. I think for me, I think I'm learning a lot about myself. You know, there's a lot of character things that come up when you're cooped up.
That's cool. How are you staying hopeful and motivated and kind of encouraged in this time?
It was really hard, to be honest with you. You know, I'm an optimist, but for the first 2 weeks of this, it was a lot of it was pretty demoralizing. I would look at, maybe it'll be over the next day, maybe it'll be over the next day, and it wasn't. And so I was personally feeling kind of defeated about being cooped up. But when this whole thing started, because of what we do at the Branning Group, where we help insurance agents and other financial planners set appointments with people, our business spiked almost immediately. I was just looking and talking with my team. We've seen almost overnight a 3x over what our business was before this.
Wow.
Which is amazing. And that brings challenges of its own. You know, any growth curve that steep presents unique challenges that gradual growth, you know, kind of gives a little bit more grace for. And so that's been unique. So much fun to go through, but it's been kind of crazy. So I stay motivated. Normally, and my daily routine got messed up, and I'm a huge routine and habits guy. And so because I couldn't, you know, go to the gym and, you know, I don't have as much quiet time as I did before, it was interrupting my patterns that I'd set for myself. So, and when I feel like my patterns and my habits are interrupted, it can be, kind of disorienting. And so, I was personally having some, you know, I was personally just kind of bummed out, you know, even though business was skyrocketing and things were looking really good. I was personally feeling very demotivated, and, you know, I really had to just kind of sit with myself. And, you know, again, when they announced that it was going to be up until April 30th, that was actually a relief for me, because then I knew what to expect. I think the unknown was causing me more anxiety than what was actually happening.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So how's your, how have you adapted your routine and habits and all of that?
I haven't figured it out yet, to be honest with you. You know, I'm getting a little bit better, because with everybody at the house and with the gyms closed and like where I would normally go or do things for quiet time, now I can't go there, right? I can't go to the gym in the morning, because it's closed. You know, and my family's not out of the house, you know, by 7:45 or 8, you know, and so, my quiet time has to change and adapt. My morning routine has to change, and I haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm still doing my morning devotionals and do it at the house, which is cool. I haven't figured out a new workout routine yet. I just don't like working out at home. And I don't want to wake people up with me like stomping around, you know. I would have a very upset family. So I'm figuring it out. I think me, like a lot of other people are, you know, we're trying to come up with quote, like new routines, but we know these routines are going to be temporary. So I'm having a hard time finding the motivation to completely change what I was doing for a situation that I hope and believe will be temporal, you know, and hopefully over by the end of the month.
Wow. Sounds like a lot of just rolling with the punches and doing the best with with what you got. Yeah. Do you have any practical tips for navigating crisis and for making the best of it?
Yeah, it's, you know, going back to capitalizing on it, you know, again, which is, you hear capitalizing on a crisis and it can feel kind of dirty, but everything is on sale right now, right? So, you know, for me in the business that I'm in, more people dropped off of Facebook ads. They stopped advertising, which means that it's a lot cheaper for me to reach, you know, the same amount of people, right? And so I'm able, with keeping the same Facebook ads budget, I'm able to reach a lot more people, right? So, which is great. So I'm seeing opportunity there. I'm looking for things that, you know, may not have been available to me at the prices that I could afford, and now they are. It's, and other things like, you know, the stock market, you know, people are reacting because the economy is like flatlining, you know, well, and I believe we'll get back to where we were. It may be a while, but So you can buy stocks at a great price right now, that could be assets that you could, help build wealth with for the future. So, I look at this situation and I amidst all the frustration and the discouragement, I look for opportunities. And I think there's a lot of ways that we can capitalize on it. And then if for people that don't have, cash sitting around to spend, I think there's people that you can collaborate with now that you probably couldn't have collaborated with before. So many cool collaboration opportunities. I'm seeing so much art being created. I'm seeing so many cool, like in the marketing space that I'm in, there's so many relationships that are coming out of this. People are co-creating together, which is like so much fun. I can't wait to see what they come up with. And there's the personal creativity, there's a quote, and I spaced on it now when I'm thinking about it, but there's a quote that says something about, boredom breeds, the best ideas. There's just something about sitting, laying on your couch, no TV, no book in front of you, just literally sitting and laying down and asking your brain hard questions and letting your brain like answer them. It's like, it could be things like, what am I doing right now that I shouldn't be doing, and just in the peace and quiet, letting your subconscious kind of think on that, like, wow, what am I doing that I shouldn't be doing, and then thinking, what, like for me, I'm really into coming up with fun workshops and stuff from that. It's like, what can I teach my audience? And just sitting and no distractions, and just letting myself think, and allowing myself to get personally creative in areas where I may not have before. Like I'm doing things before that I haven't done, like, writing, I'm reading books that Japheth saw I got a cookbook. My wife got me a cookbook. So I'm like learning how to cook now, which is fun. Made breakfast this morning. So, so I'm trying to find, I'm trying to look for the positive in all this, and I'm getting to know my family better, in the day-to-day hustle, that you kind of, you don't have time to just sit and really, have like deep conversations a lot, even though we live with each other, we kind of get in the habits and the day-to-day routines. And so being able to just sit and talk, like I've had conversations with Allie, my 12-year-old daughter, that, we haven't had for, a while, it's been good. It's been good. So I think she'll remember this time as the time she got to hang out with her parents more, Me and Kathy will remember it as a time of like, man, that was weird. We were cooped up, it's kind of lame, but I think Allie's going to have a lot of good memories that come from this because we're trying to make the best of it, especially with her.
Yeah. Wow. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing all that. Yeah. Appreciate it. Last question. Before we wrap up here, if you had to go back to your when you were 18, imagine 18-year-old Alex, and you had to give him one piece of advice for life, what would that be?
I would say find a mentor or a coach right away and start working with that person, because there's a good decade of my life that I could have really fast tracked had I not tried to figure it out on my own. And I was able to connect with someone that was going where I wanted to go or doing what I wanted to be doing. And I allowed that person to speak into my life. I could have avoided a lot of mistakes if I just had talked to people who had been where I wanted to go, as opposed to trying to figure it out on my own, right now. And my first great decision was hiring a business coach. Not my first great decision, but one of the best decisions I made was hiring a business coach 7 years ago. I've since hired other business coaches that helped in different areas, people that help coach me in finances. Cause I didn't know, my parents grew up middle-class American, and they're awesome and amazing. Don't get me wrong. But, their financial mindset was, spend and save, and that was it. They didn't have an investment mentality. And because of that, now that they're older, they don't have as much saved up. So they have to work, and And things like my spiritual life, like going to church is like awesome and amazing, but what else can I do? So I invested in myself by going to, the Bethel School of Ministry, so that I could learn from people who I wanted to emulate. I'm not trying to be a junior of anybody else. I'm just trying to be the best Alex that I can be. And so being able to find business coaches that could push me to be the best business person that I could be, financial coaches that could help me be the best steward, of what I have. And then, spiritual leaders and mentors that could help me, be the best man that I could be. Yeah. So that would be what I would tell 18-year-old Alex. Find a mentor as soon as possible.
Boom. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Well, yeah, guys, there's lots of opportunity here to invest in yourself and take your life to the next level. So thanks for the conversation, Alex. Appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Love the podcast.
All right, guys. Have a great week. Bye. Make life awesome. Thanks for listening to the podcast today. I would love if you would leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcasting platform, as it really does help the show out. You can find me on Instagram at Japheth Mast, that's spelled JaphethMast, or my website, japhethmast.com. Have an amazing week, and don't forget, make life awesome.